How's it going, guys? And welcome to our Knife Banter Live. We're going to be looking at some awesome new knives here at Blade HQ. We're going to be answering some awesome questions that you guys on YouTube fed to us. And if you're in the live chat, Emmeline's in the live chat, so if you want to shout out or anything, let her know, and she'll pop them up right here for me to see. On the last live chat we had some people ask, why does Zach keep looking at his phone? That's how I know what you guys are saying. So Emmeline feeds me all the good stuff. National Knife Day just passed. It was a blast. We love celebrating National Knife Day. As a result, though, we have a lot of orders to ship. I'm sure a lot of you guys are waiting on packages right now. So literally everybody is out in the warehouse almost around the clock shipping. So we didn't have time to get a weekly pick together for you. So we figure, hey, let's show off some new knives. Let's ask some questions. Let's just hang out on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So let's kick it off with the first knife, which is not a knife. This is a knife engineering book from the guy over at knifesteelnerds.com. Now, if you guys haven't seen this book yet, it is an amazing breakdown of steels, heat treats, geometries, anything that you could want to know of kind of about that blade steel is right here. And if you guys haven't checked out the Knife Steel Nerds website, make sure to check it out if that's something that you want to know more about. So Laren Thomas is, he's actually like, this is what he does for work. I mean, you can see all these like super smart graphs, way smarter than I am about any of this stuff. But I've been reading through this thing and I'm learning a ton about, again, heat treats, steels, blade geometries, all of that stuff. So make sure to check this out on the website. It's fairly new, not new, but we haven't been able to show it off on camera yet. And it's such an amazing piece of knife nerd work. We had to give it a little light. And that goes for $33.95 on the website. So get one while you can. They're actually, we bought a good handful of them and they are going fast. So if you're interested in one, you know, probably pick one up sooner than later because they'll probably be out of stock shortly. I know we are getting more though, so that'll be good. All right, so the first new knife, actual new knife on the table is the, I got it, yes, is the Reate Bushido. Now, this is a really cool new knife from Reate. It's got an overall length of about 6.75 inches. The blade steel on this thing is M390. I had to check and make sure. Again, all of these are new. I've barely handled any of them. So I'm gonna be referring to my sheets a lot because I wanna make sure I get these specs right for you guys. And then it's got a nice carbon fiber handle. The rest of it's titanium construction. So a handful of things with this knife that I really like. The carbon fiber has a bit of grip to it. So it's not like a slippy carbon fiber. It's just got really nice lines. It's Reate. We all know Reate just makes an incredible knife. I say this often. I think that Reate should focus more on making more Reate branded knives. They do a lot of OEM work for people, so they make a lot of knives that don't say Reate for other people. And I think they do some of the best work in the industry. So it's really neat to see a new front flipper come from them. Let's see if I can hit it. Ooh, yes! If I can front flip it on camera, you can definitely front flip it in real life. So this is the Reate Bushido. It goes for $238 on the website, M390 blade, carbon fiber handle, and it's a nice kind of texturized carbon fiber. So classy, but not slippery. Going to the classy side of things as well, this is a knife that I know a lot of you guys have been excited about, and now it comes in just a real dressed up version. This is Civivi Bullmastiff. So it's got a Damascus blade, it's got a carbon fiber handle, nice deep carry pocket clip, everything else that you love about the Bullmastiff. This one is the mini, so this is the mini Bullmastiff. The large is like a huge cleaver blade. You guys have seen that one on camera before. But just kind of neat. Civivi will usually dress up their knives a little bit here and there, and this is a dressed up version of the mini Bullmastiff. So if you've been on the fence about a Bullmastiff, or if you love the one you have and you want to get a dressed up one, boom, Civivi took care of you. And this comes in at $84.50. So for what you're getting, I mean, really, not a bad deal. Now, the Damascus here, you know, this isn't like the most premium steel ever that creates this Damascus. And it doesn't say what the Damascus is made of because all Damascuses can be from, 9CR. So it's a 9CR Damascus is what you'll get with that. And then again, carbon fiber handle, deep carry pocket clip. So cool little entry, new from Civivi. I think those landed like yesterday. Like they're pretty fresh, new. $84.50 for that. And Emmeline's feeding me some comments here. Let's see. Dylan Slayton said, hey, can I have a shout out and my best friend Carson who got me into you guys. So there's a shout out for Dylan and Carson. Hey, Taylor from Best Emmy EDC is in there. He said, Blade HQ, do not shout me out. Sorry, Taylor. I have to read what Emmeline sends me. I'm sorry, buddy. Recently, we did some stuff for National Knife Day. We did a post on Instagram. If you have Instagram, go check it out. If you don't, it is what it is. And we asked some of our friends in the industry to show us what was in their pockets. So Taylor, he sets up like a 3-camera shot. This is supposed to be just like a cell phone video, right? He sets up like a 3-camera shot and sends over this like masterpiece of a small little social edit. So if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. If you compare all the other ones in there, Taylor definitely blew everybody else out of the water. Definitely Taylor's style. I love that dude. Next new knife on the table is a fixed blade. So this is a fixed blade from Dawson Knives. We don't feature Dawson Knives very often, but we've got a handful of new arrivals from them in. So if you've been looking for a Dawson knife, go check out the website, check out some of their offerings. This particular one is called the Snakebite. And it's a 3V steel blade, and I believe, I don't want to misspeak here. Like I said, these are all brand new to me as well. It is a G10 handle. So made in the USA, 3V steel, G10 handle. This thing's for 150 bucks. Honestly, like the blade design on it, I think, is a little interesting. Dawson usually is very creative with their blade finishes, their blade styles, even the way they do their handle material and everything. They're very creative, very unique in the way they do a lot of that. But 3V and G10 for 150 bucks is a pretty dang good deal. And then the other nice thing with the Snakebite is that you do have this jimping along the back of the spine here, and then you have jimping out on the forward spine as well, which is really nice because it has this nice belly across the knife. So that would give you nice forward control if you were using that belly for skinning or just for working the belly at all. Anyways, kind of a neat knife from Dawson. We don't get to handle them very often, but since it was new arrivals, it was like, oh, cool, let's throw a Dawson on. And then it comes with just kind of a nice basic sheath, something that you could use, or you could make your own, either way. Put that in. All right. Oh, guys, the next one on the table, I don't want to misspeak. This is the new knife on the table that I am most excited about right now. We talked with our friend Igor from MKM Knives recently, and when we sat down with him, he showed us this in video. He was in Italy, we were in Utah, so I didn't get to handle one. And these finally came in, and when they hit, George, you guys know George, he came and grabbed me. He's like, have you seen this in person yet? And I'm like, I haven't. So this is the MKM Malga. This is a micarta, basically multi-tool with an M390 blade. It comes with a bottle opener, pry bar screwdriver head, flathead screwdriver head. It comes with a can opener. It comes with a fork, which I think is actually really interesting. I don't know if I would have much use for it, but it, I don't know, kind of intrigues me. And then it comes with a corkscrew on the back and a punch on the back. So you guys know, I love the Victorinox Compact. I love it. But there is a lot going right with this Malga. And an M390 blade with micarta handles, it does come in at $109. So a little bit of a higher price point than you're gonna find with a lot of Victorinox models. But man, it's like, this is something I love about MKM. MKM is very responsive to the market. They're very responsive to what people are interested in. So you could put a multi-tool in your pocket that doesn't have, you know, like a whatever steel blade Victorinox is gonna put on it, or whatever. It doesn't have to be Victorinox. Any of these multi-tool knife companies, generally you're not getting a very premium blade. M390 blade, micarta handles, and the cool thing is these scales are actually meant to be replaceable. So you could take these handles off, you could do some mill work on them, you could replace them with a different handle, and Igor says they have some surprises coming for this as well. So I don't know if that's more handles, I don't know if that's different tools, I don't know what it is, but I am the most excited about this one right here. So this is the MKM Malga. It's going for $109 on the website. Let me know what you guys think of this thing. Is this the route that we should be going with in-pocket multi-tools? Because boy, if I could get a compact and M390 in micarta, that would just make my day. All right, we got a couple more shout outs here. Dire Raven says, shout me out please. Howdy from New York, watching you at my desk at work. Just bought the green micarta CRKT CEO yesterday. Can't wait to start carrying it. That's awesome. So how's it going, Dire Raven? Glad you're tuning in. Warren Harrison Cross says, says, yo, Zach, my wife wants a shout out. She's been jealous that you shouted out me and our daughter so far. So please shout out Christine Cross. Christine Cross, I'm glad you're tuned in. I'm glad you're watching. Glad the whole family is enjoying Knife Banter. It's good to hear. And then Alex, he says, hey, hi, I'm from France, guys. Dude, that's awesome. So Alex, I actually speak a bit of French, just enough to get by so I wouldn't like starve if I'm in like Paris or in France somewhere. I'm not gonna say any French here because you'll make fun of me. But good to know you're here from France. I think about this time last year, it was in September, I was in France. It was a good time, I really enjoyed it. Anyways, MKM Malga, you guys should get that. All right, next up is probably one of the most anticipated knives from We Knives other than the Banter. We all know the Banter is awesome. We love the Banter. It's the We Mote. And now I think something's gonna surprise a lot of you out there. It's a lot smaller in real life than it may look in the listing, which isn't a bad thing. But this is something that I've consistently been hearing around the office is, oh wow, that's smaller than I thought it would be. So the We Mote, great little knife from We Knives. You get an S35 VN blade. You know, you get this really cool stonewashed titanium construction with the anodized hardware. Nice milled pocket clip. Obviously, it's a titanium frame lock with a stainless steel insert. You get some just little styling here in the titanium. And just a cool little knife. Nice jimping across the back of the spine. And for a small knife, that jimping goes up really far, which is nice because you're gonna get, I've got a medium-sized hand, definitely no ham hands. I can get all 4 fingers on this thing, no problem. And then with your thumb though, because it's a smaller blade, you can really plant your thumb on the top of that if that's something that you need to get better purchase on your knife. Cool little knife from We Knives. Really great construction, really great design. You get it for 169 bucks on the website. Yeah, this is one that I've been very excited about from We, and it's exciting to have some of them in stock. So we have them in a couple different colors on the website right now. They just recently landed. All right, next up is a new knife from Case Knives. We actually have a handful of new knives from Case. So we just grabbed one that we wanted to show off. So this is the Case Swayback. It's a Warncliffe style blade. The handle on this, I want to make sure I get this right. It's like a canvas laminate handle, and you get your nice Case shield there. Made in the USA. This is Case Knives is the oldest operating, like continuously operating knife manufacturer in the United States. I don't know if they make that claim, but we've been looking into it, and I'm 99% sure that's true. If you know of a USA-based knife manufacturer that has continuously been operating longer than Case, let me know it in the comments because I'm actually really intrigued. I haven't been able to find one. That isn't the reason that you should buy a Case knife. The reason you should buy a Case knife is because they are made in the USA by craftsmen. They have, at the Case factory, you start as an apprentice and you work your way up all the way to a master. The handwork that goes into these knives is just incredible. There's a ton of tradition here. And the other thing that I love about Case Knife personally is honestly the handle options. So they have so many neat handle options that you can just get a cool little knife to throw in your pocket, throw in your fifth pocket, whatever it is. I mean, this Swayback's a perfect example of that. And yeah, just have something American made, something cool to carry around. This goes for $68.99 on the website right now. I'm gonna do the next one, and then I'm gonna jump into a couple of questions that you guys gave us on YouTube. And the reason I'm gonna do the next one right now is because I'm really excited. I haven't even opened this yet. So this is the first time I get to open this on camera. And yeah, I'm stoked. So anyways, it's no secret that we love Ramon Chavez around here. I personally love Chavez knives a lot. And we just got these Chavez Ultramar twist cap pens. Again, want to make sure I get that whole name correct. And so this is, obviously it's all titanium. It's got a cool stone wash to it. It's got that Chavez clip, which I know is very divisive for a lot of people in the community. Just probably one of the coolest pens that I've seen recently. And then it's a twist top, literally my first time opening it, so I hope I'm doing everything right. Yep, it is a twist top, and then you just got a nice pen underneath. So just a really cool piece from Ramon. It's exciting to see more stuff in that Ultramar line. So Ultramar is the stuff that he designs and then he has made in other places. And yeah, just a great pen from Ramon. So I'm really excited about this one. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up. I personally like to carry a click pen because I write all the time. I'm constantly taking notes. And so I don't know if I'll pick this one up, but it would be such a cool one to carry around. And this one goes for 135 bucks on the website. So also not an inexpensive pen. If you're prone to losing pens, do not buy this pen. But if you want what is probably one of the coolest pens out right now, go ahead and buy this pen. Here, I'll put it back in. And it's cool, like comes in this like test tube. I don't know, like the presentation, everything is just kind of fun about the whole knife, or the whole pen. All right, jumping on to a couple questions from YouTube. I actually have like a couple pages of questions. So we put in YouTube community that we were gonna go live today, and we asked people, hey, what's some of the knife questions that you have? And we got some awesome questions. So the first one is actually not a question, it's from Alexander LeBlanc. He says he's down south. A lot of areas in the south right now are about to be hit with a pretty serious hurricane. And he was just saying, hey, you know, I love tuning in. Thanks for, you know, checking out. I'll probably be out of power soon. So all of us here at Blade HQ just want to say, hey, everybody down in the south, be safe. We hope everything goes well. Hunker down, and good luck with that. That's a crazy place to live. I've never lived in a place where like natural forces are something you have to consider, like a tornado or a hurricane or anything like that. I mean, even in Utah, like blizzards here aren't really blizzards. I've been in blizzards in the Midwest, and it's like, okay, cool, like this is a blizzard, right? So anyways, good luck to everybody down there who's watching in the south that might be affected. Alexander LeBlanc specifically, hope you hunker down, buddy. Hope everything goes well. We had a question from Galaxy654, and he asked, what exactly is Flightanium? So it's a great question. Flightanium is one of our favorite, if not our favorite, companies that makes parts to modify your knife. So if you watch any of our How to Knife series, we usually feature something from Flightanium in there. But they make scales, they make backspacers, they make hardware kits, like for different screw colors and stuff like that. Basically, if you want to dress up the knife you have, they make something for it. So they make everything from stuff for high-end Benchmades and Spydercos all the way to CRKTs and lower priced like Tenaciouses and stuff like that. So copper, titanium, brass, G10. I don't think they've dabbled in micarta yet, or if they have, not much. Again, anodized hardware kits. Flightanium makes some incredible stuff. So if you're looking to dress up your knife, check out Flightanium. They always do a great job. Nate 1776, I like that. American flag is his avatar as well. I love that. He says, hey Zach, I know you got to carry it some, so I was wondering if I should buy a Wee Banter when they're back in stock. And that's a great question. So I actually brought a couple knives based on some of these YouTube questions today. So one of the knives I brought is my Wee Banter. I did have the privilege of being able to carry one of these before they were released. I was actually the first person in the world to cut their finger on a Wee Banter. I'm very proud of that. But I would say yes, it is worth carrying. And I don't say that because it was designed by a friend of mine. I don't say that because I really like the people over at Wee Knives. I say it because it's a good knife. You know, I often say when the person who designs a knife, the person who makes a knife is good people, you shouldn't buy a knife just because it's good people, but that is a cherry on top of the cake. I think that you should buy a knife because it's a knife you want to carry and it's a knife that you like. And personally, the Wee Banter hits a lot of those notes for me. I like the deep carry pocket clip. I like the utilitarian blade shape. I like the pop of color in the thumb stud. To be honest, I wasn't as big a fan as the blue handle, and I know that's sacrilege. I know that's a sacred blue color, but I wasn't as big of a fan of the blue color. I'm more of a black guy anyways. And but overall, really great knife, performs really great, locks up wonderfully. Liner lock feels good. I mean, everything about the Banter it's a great little knife. So Nate 1776, when they come back in stock, and they should be back in stock soon. We're trying to keep those in stock more and more often. I highly recommend that you buy a Wee Banter. I think the only way that you could make this knife better, well, actually, there's two suggestions I would have to make this knife better. I would put an M390 blade on it because Wee does such an incredible job with their M390, and I would put an Axis style lock, like a whatever you want to call those, a slide lock, whatever you want to call it. I would put that type of lock on it. So anyways, cool knife, Wee Banter. I carry it often. All right, let's jump back into a couple new arrivals, and then I'll hit some of these other questions that we have here. There are a ton of shout outs here. I see you guys, I'm gonna get to them, but I wanna hit a couple more knives because we got a couple knives on the table, and I actually grabbed a couple knives from some of our YouTube questions we received as well. So next new knife on the table is this big old chungus. So this is Microtech Combat Troodon. Comes in a Tanto blade. The blade still on this particular one says premium, which sounds about right. So if you guys don't know, I'm gonna actually look and see if I can, this one is 204p. So if you guys don't know this about Microtech trades their blade steels around fairly often. Now, they've committed pretty hard to the 204P, and so Microtech, if you're out there and you're watching this, comment down below, hit me up, let me know if everything now is 204P. But for a long time, they would trade between 204P, M390, LMAX. What you should know is if you buy a Microtech, you're going to get a premium blade steel. It may not be the one you thought you were getting, but it will be a premium blade steel. And when we're talking 204P, LMAX, M390, I mean, all of those blade steels are so close to each other. Buy that Knife Steel nerd book and you'll know what I'm talking about. That really, at the end of the day, you're going to get something awesome. So this is 204P. Most Microtechs right now are 204P. But the Combat Troodon comes with this nice big ball bearing glass breaker. I like the ball bearing because when you put your hand in your pocket, it doesn't scratch it. Nice deep carry pocket clip, made in the USA. And man, this thing, this is a full-handed, great purchase knife. So Combat Troodon from Microtech, and this is gonna go for $498 on the website. And the overall length on this thing is 9.5 inches. So when I say it's a big knife, I mean, it really is a fairly big knife to be carrying in your pocket. We actually had a bunch, actually, I'm gonna jump back over here real quick. We had a bunch of questions about OTFs on the YouTube community questions. A bunch of you guys were asking, are OTFs good to carry for daily carry? How much abuse can an OTF take, et cetera, et cetera. So specifically, I just grabbed Jesse V to represent a lot of those questions. How viable are OTFs for everyday carry, and what is a good one to beat up on? Well, I've got the answer in my pocket. You guys already know, come on, you already know. It's the F16. Now, this is my personal F16. I've done some doodles on it, as you guys can see, but I love this knife. I think that it's absolutely perfect for me, for what I need in an OTF. So with an OTF, I'm looking for, I wanna fidget with it, I wanna be able to open and close it with one hand, and I wanna show it off to my buddies. For me personally, that's what I use an OTF for. Now, obviously, when we compare a Microtech Combat Troodon to this little F16, there is a huge difference in class, a huge difference in construction, and a huge difference in action. So when you're asking what is, Jesse V, when you're asking what is a good one to beat up on, you can beat up on a Microtech. You can beat up on a Guardian Tactical. Like, these knives are built to last. They are built to go. If you're just looking for something to play around with, you can also beat up on an F16 pretty well as well. Last night, I've actually been up all night. Hopefully I don't look too tired. Me and my little brother were building cabinets literally all last night. And it was a great time. Like, we had some pizza and we just built a ton of cabinets. But he carries a black F16 at his day job. And his day job, he's processing a lot of boxes and stuff like that. Now, he's not a knife guy, but he always carries a knife. Very much like myself, just how we were raised. We've always carried knives. And his F16, man, he has run that thing into the ground and it keeps coming back for more. So every single day, I mean, he's opening 20, 30 boxes with that F16. He says he'll get some tape on the blade every once in a while and it'll kind of get stuck and he'll just make it open and close till the tape wears down. He just abuses the crap out of it. And yeah, so can you carry an OTF for everyday carry? 100%. Can you use it at work? 100%. And honestly, the options are limitless. You can go with something like a $500 Combat Troodon, which, and I mean every word I'm about to say here, is worth the money. Made in the USA, super premium materials, great warranty, and the construction on it is dang near flawless, right? You can go with a Guardian Tactical, which hits a bunch of those same tick lists, or you can go with a really cheap F16. It's a $50 knife, you get what you pay for, right? But my brother does use one every single day. But this Combat Troodon in Merlot is a new arrival at Blade HQ. Check it out if that's something you're into. All right. Next up, we have a little fixed blade from Hinderer Knives. So we haven't had Hinderer on the table for a while, and we just got a bunch of new arrivals from Rick. Always exciting. So this is the Hinderer Knives LP-1. This is just a chunk of S35 VN steel. Comes with a nice little net carry sheath. And then with that net carry sheath, you can also, it also comes with a way to attach like a clip to it. So in the box, there's some hardware. I don't have it on the table because I'd have to like cut the bag open and I don't want to do that. But there is a nice little hardware kit where you can put a clip on it if that's something that you want to do to carry it any other way. But it would make a really nice neck knife with that nice Warney blade shape. Comes in and out of the sheath easily, locks in really secure. Great little design from Rick. And this thing goes, it weighs in at 0.95 ounces. That's a big thing for me when I'm looking at a neck knife is it light and is it small enough? This is right on the verge of too long, but it's not quite too long for a neck knife. And you might be asking, well, how long is too long for a neck knife? For me personally, it's just how it feels in hand and how it would feel on the chest. But it retains really well. It's got a good edge. It's got a very utilitarian blade on it. Awesome neck knife. Goes for 190 bucks on the website. So it's cool to see some new stuff from Rick. We actually have another new Rick Hinderer on the table that we'll get to here in a little while. All right, let's see. Billy203948 says, did you buy anything new during the knife sale? I did. I picked up a couple things. But I will say, the one thing I didn't pick up during the knife sale that I wanted to, this is actually more important than what I did or didn't get, is the MKM clap. I keep wanting to get an MKM clap, and every time they come back in stock, I've spent my money on other knives. So the MKM clap still sits on my wish list waiting to get. But I actually bought a bunch of knives for some friends as well. So I had a buddy, I bought a buddy of mine a Tops knife, bought another buddy of mine a Bug Out. So yeah, National Knife Day is a great time to just get some knives and share the love, right? Let's see. Shinobi says, can I get a shout out? I'm watching from work while in a meeting. You know, I don't know if Emmeline, I don't know if a lot of you guys are in this boat or if Emmeline is just sending me the ones to like reinforce what may be bad behavior. But Shinobi, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Hopefully you don't miss anything important in the meeting. And then Knockaround 511 says, big shout out from here in Traverse City, Michigan. I'm watching while I'm in my garden picking tomatoes. Oh man, that sounds like a nice morning. For an apple and chicken breast salad. The Mote looks awesome. Zach, stay safe. Thanks, Knockaround. That's rad. Super cool to hear you have a garden. I actually wasn't able to get my garden in this year. Just busy with a bunch of other stuff, mainly work. So cool. Glad you're out picking tomatoes for what sounds like a really scrumptious salad. All right, next new arrival on the table is the CRKT Jumbones. So you guys know the CRKT Crossbones. It's a great Jeff Park design. Overall length on this thing is 10.96 inches. So another big knife on the table that I just talked about was the Combat Troodon, which is a very big knife, and it dwarfs in comparison of the Jumbones. So the Jumbones definitely lives up to its name. On this thing, again, I want to make sure I get it right. The handle material is aluminum. This is an Oz 8 blade. And again, Jeff Park design. So if you guys don't know, Jeff Park was an apprentice to Ken Onion for many years, and now he's doing his own designs with CRKT. He might have a few other designs out there as well, but nice deep carry pocket clip. A huge signifier if a big knife is worth carrying or not for me is how well does it fit in a normal sized pocket. And the Jumbones actually disappears in the pocket pretty dang well for how much real estate you would imagine it would take up. It goes in, the clip sits where it needs to sit, and you're not gonna put your phone in that pocket, but you could carry this big old knife. When we had Ryan on from CRKT and he was talking to us about the Jumbones, I asked him, I says, okay, why? Why the Jumbones? And he said that the product guy who came up with this idea was just like, why not? And I love that answer. It's straightforward, why not? So if you're looking for a big version of the Crossbones, we got you covered on the website. Goes for $99.95 on the website right now, new arrival. Right. Next up, we have a knife from a new arrival from Protech. So this is the Protech Brend 3. This is the medium of the Brend 3. So there is a large, which is even bigger than this one. Again, fairly big knife, coming in at about 8.75 overall on the inches. Yeah, that was a weird way to say that, but that actually was correct. If you can't tell, I've been up all night building cabinets. Carson and Jamie are over in the corner laughing at the way I said that now. But 154 cm blade, aluminum handle, nice deep carry pocket clip. Everything that we love about Protech and a nice big user. And this thing goes for $209.95 on the website, made in the USA. Yeah. One thing that I like about this knife is, one, it's huge. So again, medium-sized hand, right? We did see some people want a ham banter. So maybe come Christmas time, we'll have Kurt on and we'll have him just slicing ham and talking about his hands and what knives fit best in them. But one thing I like about the Brend is even in this medium, even with a bigger hand, when your hand starts to butt up against this back end here, this angle and everything is very, very soft. It's not a harsh angle. So if you do have a huge hand and you're backing up against here, it's still very, very comfortable and catches that pinky if the pinky would want to slide off. So cool knife from Protech. Always great designs from Dave over there. Yeah. And they just moved into a new facility. So congratulations to Protech. They moved into a bigger new facility there in California, which is exciting. All right. Let's see. We got a couple other shout outs here. Brandon Evener says, can me and my brother my brother Austin, get a shout out? I'm carrying a Gerber EAB Light. Awesome. So Brandon and Austin, glad you guys are tuning in. Luke Holman wants a shout out to his grandpa Larry, who got him into knives. So Larry, thank you for passing down the love of knives. Hopefully everybody else out there is doing that. On that note, we actually had a question about passing down knife love. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Let's see, like I said, there were so many good questions on YouTube. I'm not gonna be able to get to all of them, but there really are some good ones. So this is a conversation we've had before on Knife Banter a little bit. So Blitz34 said, how early should I give my child their first knife? And should it be a Swiss Army knife, or do I have to go ham with an M390 titanium handle custom giant squirrel monstrosity? So Blitz34, my personal opinion, and this is, guys, I can't even stress how much this is just my personal opinion, is I think that most kids, if you're raising them to kind of be conscious of their environment, you're raising them around tools, raising them around doing things, most kids are probably ready for a knife around that 5-year, 6-year-old mark. I think that's when I got my first pocket knife. I don't think I would get them something crazy or big. A Swiss Army knife is probably apt. I think all of us probably have a scar on our hands from a Swiss Army knife. And I don't know if that is a rite of passage we should keep passing on, or if we should upgrade that a little bit. But, you know, Buck makes a lot of nice little lock back folders that are also great for kids. You can throw them on a lanyard, they can clip them on whatever, and then they have a knife to open and close. When it comes to nieces, nephews, anything like that, whenever I'm passing on a knife to somebody who's younger, I always like to get a bar of soap, give them a bar of soap, and then we'll carve soap together and I'll run them through different knife rules. Like, you know, never cut towards yourself. Obviously, as advanced knife users, a lot of us do cut towards ourselves in certain situations, but we all know it's probably not the best way to go. So that's always the way that I like to pass on knives to younger kids is, just giving them option to learn how to use the knife before you hand it to them. I would say whether they're 5 or 6 or whether they're 20, you should never hand somebody a knife for their first time and not show them at least how it opens and closes and some of those safety things. But let me know in the comments. I'm always interested. This is a question that always interests me. When do you think a kid is ready for a pocket knife? I think that's really interesting. All right, cool. Let's rock on to the next new arrival. I had to pull one off the table. We have some awesome new knives from the Gerber collection with Randy Newberg. I didn't have enough time to figure out how the blades went on the removable handle, so I took it off the table because I didn't want to fumble with you guys live. We will show that one off soon enough. So the next new arrival is another highly anticipated knife from Civivi, and this is the Ferrum Forge Odium. Now, if you guys remember from our SHOT Show video in January, man, that feels like that was like 3 years ago. We sat down with David over at We Knives, and he ran us through a bunch of the knives, and the Odium was one they were really excited about, and I think for good reason. When we compare the Civivi to the We knife, so this is the Mote, this is the Odium. The Odium comes in a little bit bigger. So if you're on that kind of like medium to large hand size, the Odium may be more of your jam if you're looking for a small knife. But yeah, great little knife from We. This has got a D2 blade, G10 handles, nice deep carry pocket clip. You guys know the spiel with with Civivi, who is made by We. Always a great budget knife. Comes in at $52.70, and we've got a handful of flavors of that on the website right now. Right. Let's jump into. There's a lot. It must be a lot of you guys in the comments right now. I'm getting a bunch of comments from Emmeline, which is great. So let's go to Damysus. Says, can I get a shout out? I'm watching from my lake house, laying around and catching fish. Carrying an Azula tool 2 and a case hammerhead. Man, what is with everybody just doing everything I want to do right now? That's awesome. So laying around at a lake house, catching fish. Sounds like the life. Dionysus, I like that as well. So living that Dionysian life, it sounds like. Just living the best life possible. Jude Utash, he Johnny Sanchez. Oh, he was saying that his cousin Johnny Sanchez got him into knife. So again, keep passing on that knife life. I think that's great. And then William Rollins says he's turning 32 in quarantine. So happy birthday, Will. Sorry that it's probably not the birthday you wanted, but hopefully a little shout out will count for something. All right, now as promised, I said we had another Hinderer on the table, and we have a Hinderer XM18. This is a 3.5-inch XM18 with the harpoon spontoon blade. This is a 20 CV blade with a G10 handle. You've obviously got the titanium lock side with stainless steel insert, two-way reversible pocket clip, great Hinderer design. So XM18, I mean, this knife is legendary. If you want just a hard using, big burly knife, XM18 series is always a good way to go. This particular one goes for $425 on the website. Nice stonewash finish, and then just great lockup, great action, really smooth. And again, built to beat up. So Rick Hinderer, you know, he's worked in a lot of blue collar trades. He was a firefighter for a long time, and so he builds knives that he would want to carry, like that he would want to use and beat up. So the XM18 is a great example of that. So new arrival right now, and like I said, we have a bunch of new Rick Hinderer knives. So if you want something new from Hinderer, or you want a restock of something old, now's the time to check it out, because they've been hard to get our hands on this year. I think things have slowed down a little bit for them, just their ability to like do production and stuff because of everything going on in the world. We're seeing it kind of all over. I'm sure you guys are as well. All right, and then finally, new knife on the table. This one made it on the table because Jamie was very excited about this. So this is the, oh, yes. This is the Kizer Feist. You guys know this knife. We've given this knife plenty of love. But it recently had a couple little updates, and I think the biggest one that's going to be noticeable, at least on camera, there's a couple little fine tunings with some of the spacing and some of the backspacer stuff. But the number one thing with this is that it has a cutout now on the front of the scale. So if you've ever bought a Feist and you've been like, man, I really wish that there was a little cutout here, because depending on your thumb size, my thumb does just fine with the normal Feist. Depending on your thumb size, you might struggle a little bit. Kizer's taking care of it, and they put a little window in there, a little cutout. See if I can do it again. Yes. I don't know what it is about front flipping on camera, but it's always really hard. I'm getting better and better, it looks like. So yeah, so nice Kizer Feist. Blade steel on this thing is S35VN, full titanium construction. Everything you know about the Feist, just a couple little upgrades, and again, the main one being this little window for the lock bars, just a little bit easier access. Goes for $168 on the website. So if you've been holding out on a Feist, there's nothing left. There's no reason not to buy a Feist now if you've been holding out. All right, let's see. I'm gonna jump into, I've got a couple knives on here that were questions. So first off, oh wow, this is, so there's a username that is not in Latin alphabet, so I don't know what any of these letters are that are in their name, but it looks cool. He says, or he or she says, would love to know some more about Spartan blades. So I grabbed just a Spartan blade to kind of show you guys a little bit of what Spartan does. So this is the Spartan, I always forget, I don't know how to say it. I always forget, I've been told 3 times how to say this. Damysus? I just ruined that. I'm sorry, guys. I can never remember how to say it. But it is a great example of what Spartan does. Very heavy use, very utilitarian, very, very cool, in my personal opinion, fixed blades. They also have some really neat folders as well. Spartan Blades is a USA company. They work with like people like Bill Harsey. They work with people like Tu Lam, and they make just awesome knives. They're a smaller manufacturer. They don't get a lot of spotlight. We have done some SHOT Show or Blade Show videos with them. SHOT Show, we did a SHOT Show video with them, so make sure to check that out. But this is a 1095 Crovan full tang knife. This is green micarta handle with removable scales, and then you get a really nice sheath with that as well. So you can use Tech Lock on this if you want to. It's got the nice straps to put on a belt or a bag, and then it also locks in really well as well. So it actually has a release, as you guys can see here, for the knife to come in and out. So like I said, I grabbed this one because it is just a great example of the work that Spartan does. Like I said, they work with a lot of veterans, a lot of operators to create different knives that they would want to use in different situations. Just a cool, small American company that is doing great work. So if you want to check out Spartan knives, we've got a ton on the website. Different style of fixed blades and a handful of folders as well. And that, I'm not even gonna try to say the name again. That fixed blade goes for 195 bucks on the website. All right, there was a couple more. Here we go. Okay, so Gear Runner, he wanted us to talk about QSP knife. So Gear Runner says, talk about how the QSP Penguin may be the best knife under $30. Just got mine in from you guys along with about 6 others. I ordered on knife day and the Penguin is smoother than any of the other knives I got. That was well over 100 and one over close to 200. So sometimes knives have to be tuned a little bit, so maybe that has to deal with it. QSP does do a pretty incredible job. Very similar to Civivi in that they just make a high quality budget folder. Now, there was one part of this comment that I was unaware of, to be 100% honest. I knew that the Penguin was a D2 steel. I knew that it had a micarta handle, deep carry pocket clip, great action, great centering. It's a good little knife. But he said it was the best knife under $30. And I was like, no, it's got to cost more because it has a D2 blade and a green micarta handle. It's $29.66 on the website. So this very well may be the best knife under $30 when we're considering build quality and materials. Now, the blade shape may not be for you. The handle size may not be for you. But when we're talking under 30 bucks, this is a hard knife to beat between all the little things that it's offering. So QSP Penguin, if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. Gear Runner, thank you for bringing that price to my attention because that's kind of an unbelievable, just an incredible price. And again, really nice and smooth, really good centering on this thing. Just great knife from QSP. Check them out. I can tell you right now, this might be the last one on the website right now. We got a big restock coming, but this might be the last one on the website. So get on the wish list if they're sold out. It was just such a good knife. I had to show you guys because I was shocked at what the pricing was on that. And then Freerider T says, when will you be featuring Rockstead? I think you need to give them more love. I agree. And Jamie would actually agree with you even more. I think I have only seen Jamie lust after 1, maybe 2 knives. But I would say basically, nice way to flub the opening there. I would say basically Jamie lusts after everything Rockstead. And I might be wrong with that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So this is the Rockstead Hizen-ZDP. I'm going to read the specs on this because we don't touch Rockstead often. I want to make sure I get this right. So it's got a 6.8 inch overall length. It's got a 2.8 inch blade. Obviously you can see here it's got a mirror finish, and like by mirror it's like full on actual mirror finish. It actually might not be great in the light there. Carson, how does it look? Can they see it? Okay, cool. He gave me the thumbs up. You guys can see it. Aluminum handle on this one, and it's got ZDP 189 blade steel. Now, Rockstead is made in Japan. Impeccable construction, impeccable materials that they use. Their grinds are literally next level, like otherworldly grinds. And that will reflect in the price. So $765, and this is the least expensive Rockstead that I have on the website right now. But here's what's interesting about Rockstead, and this is why I wanted to feature, I forget his name already, Freerider T. This is why I wanted to feature Freerider T's question, is because Rockstead knives are very expensive. Plain and simple. There's no cut about it. I think if you're paying this much for a pocket knife, this is a very expensive pocket knife. But I will say in this price range, this is one of the few companies making knives in this price range that are meant to be used every day. Sure, it has a mirror polish. Sure, you're gonna scratch that up. Sure, it's an art piece basically, but it's functional, it's usable, it's actually built for hard work. And that intrigues me so much. And I think that's one of the reasons that Jamie loves him so much, is because Jamie is very much a precision type of guy. And Rockstead is all about precision, details, and all of that. And Jamie's also very practical. So as you guys know, he doesn't buy a ton of knives. He doesn't carry a bunch of knives every day. Kind of basically sticks to the bug out most of the time because it's utilitarian, it's practical. And I think that there's a lot of that utilitarian practical stuff to this knife until you hit the price, right? And then we're definitely stepping out of kind of maybe that practical range for a lot of people. But incredible designs, made in Japan. And really, when we say made in Japan, at least for me, right? Like as a kid that grew up, you know, in the 90s, right? When you made in Japan, there's like something mystical about that, right? Like, ooh, like there's special craftsmen or whatever. Rockstead delivers on that. This is special craftsmen building these knives using special techniques in Japan. So it really is kind of that, I mean, you know, this romanticized idea of the samurai sword, right? In reality, samurai sword probably wasn't one of the greatest weapons out there, right? But this romanticized idea of a samurai sword, you're getting a lot of that romanticism in this knife with all the practicality. So anyways, I've gushed a lot about this Rockstead, about Rockstead in general, not this particular one. But Rockstead really does have some incredible stuff out there. If it's something that is in your price range, or if it's something that maybe is a grill knife or something, I would say it's 100% worth it. Will I personally ever buy a Rockstead? Probably not. To be honest, that's a lot of money for a pocket knife. But man, I can really admire it and I really love it. If we're ever able to, you know, like go other places and see some of our knife friends ever again, I would love to go to Japan and do something at Rockstead. Jamie, would you want to go to Japan and do something with Rockstead? Yeah. No hesitation from Jamie on that one, guys. All right. Well, that's all the knives on the table. Mixed in with some of the questions you guys had, mixed in with some stuff from the live chat. I'm just going to take a look at what Emmeline has for me. We have some people. CPT Halvar is watching from Germany. That's awesome. Agent Costly says he set an alarm and him and his daughters are watching live on YouTube. That's great. I love when Knife Banter becomes a family affair. We had, I can't remember his name, but we had a guy come in from Hawaii, and he says that they put Knife Banter on the big screen, like on the TV at home, and they all sit down and watch. I think that's so fun. It's kind of a weird place to be as a guy that just is into knives and loves talking about knives. That it's like this family affair, but I love just people getting together and enjoying knives. I think it's great. All right, I'm gonna look at if there's anything else from the awesome YouTube questions we got. Somebody did ask, which does Jamie prefer, a Scandi or a saber grind? So I asked Jamie, and in a very practical fashion, he says, depends on what I'm doing. So if he's processing wooden stuff, he said he prefers a Scandi just because it cuts a little better, but a saber is more durable, maybe more practical for everyday stuff. So every day it sounds like he leans towards the saber. If he's out in the woods, it sounds like he leans towards the Scandi, but very practical of Jamie to just say, depends on what I'm doing, which is the reality. Let's be honest, right? Like we can have our favorites, but it really does depend on what you're doing, what type of knife or what type of grind you're gonna carry. Master Woodsman 85, he asked, what requirements, decisions, factors lead to a Blade HQ exclusive? And I think that's an awesome question. So we try to make Blade HQ's exclusives something unique and some sort of an ad for the community, right? So one of our most types of exclusives, obviously most famous, the natural G10 and M4 steel. So natural G10, just a cool material that at the time, nobody else was really using. So we thought, okay, cool, like it's G10, that's a good material, it's something a little unique, that's fun. But then the M4 blade, what our hope is there is that we're adding some value to pre-existing knives, pre-existing designs. And if you look at, we have a lot of exclusive guys. We love doing exclusives. If you look at any of the exclusives on the website, you'll usually find that proposition. Either there's a blade steel upgrade, there's a handle upgrade, there's some sort of an upgrade to the knife. And even sometimes we'll contact the designer or the manufacturer and be like, hey, we want to do an exclusive whatever, right? But we want to change this thing up a little bit because we quite don't like how this is on the knife. And a lot of times manufacturers will work with us. And so you'll get a knife that is the pattern you're used to, but with just a couple upgrades that make it just a little bit nicer. So that's usually what goes into deciding that. I'll tell you right now, I want to do an exclusive of the Malga, of the MKM Malga, and I want to just make this the utility knife I want to carry in my pocket every day. So Igor, if you're watching, I am for sure going to be calling you soon about this thing to see if we could cook something up like that. We'll see. We'll see. Let me know if you guys want an exclusive in this with all the tools that I'm always gushing about, if that's something that would catch your fancy. If you guys would buy that, let me know. Maybe we'll crowdsource a Blade HQ exclusive. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Well, not crowdsource, but crowd pull. Let's see. I'm going to run through, see if there's any other questions that are important. Oh, actually, this one's interesting. So Layden Turple, and this will be our last question, guys. So it's been a blast hanging out, but I don't want to sit here and just ramble all day. I could sit here and talk knives all day with you guys. Have Emmeline feed me comments. It would be great. But I'm sure we all have other things to do. So Landon Turple, he says, what determines the value of a knife? Obviously, the steel type, quality, and quantity are a huge factor. However, there are times it seems extremely excessive. I own quite a few knives in a couple hundred range, but I often find the Delica or the Sheepdog in my pocket. Is there a point where a knife is no longer a tool, but instead acts as a showpiece? If so, where is that line drawn? I love this question because I think this is something that goes back and forth a lot in the community. So, Landon, great question. I actually think you answered it. When we're talking about the value of a knife, I think what determines the value of the knife at the end of the day is you, right? It's what you think the knife is worth, right? When you're talking that the Delica and the Sheepdog are in your pocket more often than not, I'm the same way. I have some very expensive knives. I don't want to misspeak. I don't think I own any knives that I don't carry all the time. I have one or two novelty knives, but for the most part, I carry every single knife that I own. And I've got knives that kind of break that $300 price range, and I've got knives that are sub $30 price range. And the ones that I find in my pocket the most, the ones that have the most value to me, are the ones I carry the most, the ones that I feel most confident carrying most often. So I think that that's one factor of what determines the value of a knife. And I think the other thing that determines the value of the knife is what you're going to use it for. There are, and there's no right or wrong answer to this. I'm a huge user guy. I'm not going to buy a knife to put it on a shelf. If I bought a Rockstead, I would carry the Rockstead. If I bought a gold class bug out, I want to buy a gold class bug out so bad, guys. If I bought a gold class bug out, I would carry it probably every day for a year because of the amount of money I'd have to spend to get one. I would carry those knives. But then there's the whole other end of the spectrum of people who just collect knives. And Landon says, at what point is a knife no longer a tool, but instead acts as a showpiece? Again, I think that's 100% up to the person. I mean, I know people that will buy a $60, $70 case knife and they will put it on the shelf. They won't use a case knife because, oh, it's a collector's. It's tradition. You know, my grandpa had one. I just want to collect it. That's a $60 or $70 knife. So when we're talking about just a dollar amount, I don't think you could put a dollar amount on that type of thing. I think that it depends on what you're into, what your goals are, and what you want to use your pocket knife for. I actually ran into a guy, this is really interesting. I've been doing some work up here at the local university, and I ran into a guy who collects pocket knives. He doesn't carry them. It's the weirdest thing. This is something I've personally never encountered. He collects pocket knives. He says he's got a drawer full of, it sounds like it's probably case knives. He didn't really know any knife terminology, so it was hard to like pinpoint down what type of knives he has. But he's got he's old timer knives is what he calls them. He said, I got a bunch of old timer knives, not the brand, but the style. I got a bunch of old timer knives. I got a whole drawer full of them. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I was like, what's in your pocket? And he's like, oh, I don't carry a knife. And I'm like, what? Like, it's such a, I mean, no judgment, but it's so interesting. I personally think everybody should have a knife in their pocket. And if I have a drawer full of knives, I'm definitely gonna have one in my pocket. So I don't know, the knife world is interesting. There's a lot of different people into a lot of different things. I would say at minimum, everybody should be carrying at least one knife, whatever it is. I told him the same thing. But Landon, great question. Guys, let us know down in the comments, what are these value knives? What are the ones you carry the most? What are the ones that are the grail knives for you? This is the type of conversation I think is so much fun to have in the knife community because at the end of the day, it gets down to the root of passion. And that's kind of what we're all about, right? Like even this guy who doesn't even carry a knife, he's very passionate about finding these old timer knives and putting them in a drawer. So anyways, Landon, thanks for the question. That was a lot of fun. All right, let's see. Just last little bits from YouTube. We got Tyler Newby. He says he's watching from Oklahoma carrying a bug out. Love the show. Thanks, buddy. Logan Prickett, I think that's how you say his name. So Logan, hope all's going well with you. And then Ben Sullivan said flannel ? You know, fall's steadily approaching. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, guys, but we are going to try to make that Blade HQ flannel happen. We'll see what happens. All right. It's been a blast. Like I said, I've been up all night, but I was super excited to come into work today. Honestly, like high energy, excited to come into work today because I knew that we were gonna be able to do a live and I'd be able to sit down and show you guys some new knives, answer some questions. So I hope you guys have had a good time as well, and we'll catch you on the next one.